Hi, it's Sue from Awaken Steps to Health. Today's topic is dairy, and I wanted to define dairy to you. So it is milk, cheese, yogurts, ice cream, and any associated products, creamers, maybe that sort of thing. Eggs are not included in the dairy category. I did talk about eggs when I did the meat video, like toward the end, just talking about the quality of eggs and the feed of the chickens. Um, I was dairy free for at least 15 years. And then, once you've been whatever it is free, fill in the blank, sometimes you can eat some of it. So I occasionally will eat a real dairy item, like maybe a real bowl of ice cream or a real, not really yogurt, but maybe some real cheese. Okay, on occasion. It's not a big deal either way, but I know some people are very, very attached to their cheese. So there's an addiction there. But I wanted to talk about, first of all, the health reasons why you would want to consider reducing or eliminating dairy out of your diet, and then some, substitutions and that sort of thing. So the big thing is dairy causes inflammation, which is the worst ever. So again, I had talked previously a little bit about an acidic blood system. So if you had a line, a scale of where your blood system should be, it should be right in the middle. And on one half is acidic and one half is alkaline. We really want our blood system to be in the middle or toward the alkaline side of the equation, because an alkaline body will not allow illness, like you won't have inflammation, you won't have all these diseases. But when you have a acidic blood system, like you've had a lot of sugar or things that turn to sugar in your bloodstream, meat, alcohol, dairy products, baked goods, rice, breads, that sort of thing. It turns to sugar in your bloodstream, so it creates an acidic system. And that's where inflammation comes from. Okay, now I will be talking more about that in the future, but inflammation causes all sorts of trouble, digestive issues, joint issues, arthritis, creakiness, congestion, puffiness, overweight, intestinal issues, pretty much fill in the blank. It causes them. It's very bad. And again, I say a lot of people as they age get more and more inflammation. It's not a function of the number of your years. It's a function of how you've eaten and how you've taken care of yourself. Okay. So reasons why not to eat dairy: inflammation, digestive issues. So a lot of people are lactose intolerant and they don't even know it. All right. So you might eat, say, a bowl of ice cream and then have to run to the bathroom or whatever, or a milkshake or whatever it might be. Doesn't matter. So a lot of times people don't associate the dairy that they ate with the stomach upset that they feel. So it can cause all sorts of trouble with your stomach and intestines. Dairy can cause hormonal imbalance as well, bloating, um, let's see, congestion of your sinuses, your ears, your throat, your lungs. So I always tell people dairy congests. So what it does is it creates that thick mucus you have in your throat or in your ears. And energetically, it congest as well, because we want energy to flow through our body easy. And that's kind of why we're doing this, to raise our vibration so that when we get a download, we can easily process the energy that's going through our body, all right, without getting sick or getting like weird aches and pains and things. So basically, when we eat a lot of dairy, it congests, especially in our head and our lungs. Everything's congested and it's sluggish. Blah. That's how dairy treats your body. Okay. Would you like the demo? Okay. Um, Dairy also promotes candida and yeast in your body, which is not a good thing to have. Now, everyone probably has a little bit of it, but if you have a lot, like if you eat yogurt every day or whatever, you probably have a lot of it, and it's really not a good thing for your body. Again, it causes bloating, all sorts of things in your body that you probably don't even realize. Um, lactose intolerance, we talked a little bit about. Pretty much everyone is, but we don't actually know it. We're not consciously told it. We're told that we need dairy, we need milk or cheese or whatever for protein, but also calcium, because otherwise we'll have brittle bones. Not true. Okay, so off on a side tangent already. The way they pasteurize and process our milk basically takes all the vitamins out of the milk. Okay, so even if you're drinking, say, a glass of cow's milk, you're getting nothing out of it because your body can't, there's no vitamins to get, but it can't process it the way it's been pasteurized. It's like boiling it and taking everything out of it that was good for you, and then, you just drink something. All right. There's also the ethical reason about how they treat dairy cows. So I had mentioned in the meat video some documentaries, Cowspiracy, Forks Over Knives, Food Incorporated, that you can educate yourself about how our animals, our factory farm animals, are treated. And even milk cows, even though they're just producing milk, it's a horrible life. All right. And they're not free. It's just a horrible thing that they have to go through. And also, to be honest with you, the way the milk, it's not like if you actually saw what was happening in the barn, you probably wouldn't be super happy with that anyway. So the ethical treatment of the animals, I think that's a good overview of why not to have dairy. Now, a lot of people, like I said, are addicted to cheese, and that's a hard one to give up. So what I would suggest is substitutions. All right. So for milk, all right, if you drink milk or you have kids in the house, I would recommend, if you want to drink cow's milk, that you get raw milk, which is unpasteurized milk. Basically, it comes right from the cow. All right. And that is much healthier for you. It's the way nature intended. If we were going to drink milk, and of course, we're not cows. So we were not intended to drink cow's milk. That is not something that the human should be drinking. But we were somehow programmed to think that we had to have it. So raw, unpasteurized milk. And here, I believe they will not sell it in a normal grocery store. You have to go like to a farmer that will sell it. Okay, so it's a little harder to find. Okay, and they'll probably have cheese and other stuff that you can buy there as well, made from the same milk, or even like a goat cheese or whatever. So raw milk is in place of cow's milk, or coconut, almond, or oat milk. So those are easily available now. You can get them in the cooler of your grocery store, or in the aisle in those little boxes. So those are good alternative milks if you're going to have cereal or do whatever you're doing. They don't have the same lactose issue, and you won't have as much inflammation by drinking them. They're not from an animal, of course. One thing I will say about those other milks is you want to look at the ingredient label, and you want to avoid an ingredient called carrageenan, Carageenan. That's a thickener that they use for creamers, like whipped cream, for your coffee, stuff like that, ice creams and yogurts. So make sure when you get any dairy product that you don't have carrageenan in it. Okay, not good for you. It basically creates little holes in your intestines, and you've probably heard the term loosely leaky gut. It helps create that, and we want to avoid that. Okay. So the other alternative milks are good. I would say I prefer the coconut milk if you can choose that. And almond milk has a component that can also affect your joints if you're sensitive. So if you can go with coconut milk, that's preferred. Otherwise, alternative milks are good. There's also alternative coconut and almond milk yogurts. Okay. You'll find them pretty much in any normal store. There's a brand, there's SO, there's a brand, oh, good. I'm blanking on it, but you just have to look at the label, okay? And I would say avoid the soy products, because there are non-dairy yogurts made of soy milk. And okay, having a little soy milk isn't the worst thing on planet Earth, but I'd say please avoid soy for the most part. And we'll talk about that in the future as well. Okay. Um, you can get non-dairy ice cream. So they have sorbets, of course, don't have dairy in it, but there are various brands of non-dairy ice cream, again, made with coconut milk, almond milk, whatever. And I eat those, and I will say they're not quite as creamy and soft as a regular ice cream, but on the other hand, they're not going to mess your stomach and your body up either. And again, always look at the ingredients. Now, I went over to a friend's house for dinner last year, and she got me some non-dairy ice cream, and it said non-dairy protein milk or something. And I looked at the label, it was a GMO ice cream that she bought me. And I was horrified. And, you know, I have a hard enough time doing a dairy ice cream, let alone a GMO ice cream. So we had a little, you know, I told her, like, there's no way I'm going to eat this. And it wasn't pretty. Okay. So here's what I could recommend that you can do. You can make your own cheese, all right, out of nuts. And there's lots of great recipes out there. It's super easy to make. You can make cheese, or you can make cheese sauces, like if you cook. Usually it's like out of cashews or almonds. You soak them, you blend them, super easy. And believe it or not, delicious. Okay. And a lot of times you won't even know that it's not dairy cheese. Okay. Now, there are alternative cheeses that you can buy in your store. Most stores will have them. Again, a natural type of a health food store should have a better variety as well. I used to buy this cheese, Daiya, Daiwa, or Daiya. I didn't like it. Okay, they have the cheese crumbles and shredded cheeses and the blocks and the slices. I didn't like any of them. They didn't really taste like anything, and it wouldn't melt. It just looked rubbery, and why even bother having it, right? So I explored a few other cheese brands, and there's one I really liked that, of course, I couldn't tell you the name of it. It's like something like Charo, Charo, or something like that. And they have slices, and they have blocks of cheese, and they're very good. But I guess what I'd say is, you know, if you must have a slice of cheese or crumbled cheese, play around with different brands, all right? If you want to get the dairy out of your life, all right? And like I said, also, a little dairy here and there isn't the worst thing on planet Earth unless you choose to take it completely out of your diet. Usually, when you want to see how a food affects you, you keep it out of your diet for about a week or a little bit more than that. And then you slowly introduce it back in and see, like, eat the same kind of foods, take the cheese or the yogurt or whatever it is out of your diet. And then after that week or so, put it back in and see how your body reacts. Notice it. All right. Now, one other thing is, a lot of times I can tell if people have a yeast thing going is by their tongue. All right. Our tongues are supposed to be like a light pink, you know, but some people have like a whitish gray tongue. That says that they are filled with yeast and candida. Okay. And I don't even need to talk to them to know that, just by looking at their tongue. So I know that they're eating a lot of dairy and doing whatever. They have an acidic blood system, and it's not healthy. Okay. Okay. Now, so we talked about cheeses. We talked a little bit about milk. They have alternate yogurts. And there is an ice cream recipe that I've been using for years that I love, and it's made out of bananas. So a lot of times I'll go and buy bananas, and then what you do, you have to take the skin off. Okay, I have to tell people that, but freeze them. And if you have a food processor, just blend in the food processor. You have to let it go for a long time. And so at first it's like chugga, 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 chugga. And then it gets easier, 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 easier. And if you let it go, it gets very creamy and delicious. So it's basically a frozen banana, which has a little sweetness. So you're satisfied if you need that sugar or that sweetness, but it's a healthy ice cream. So you can add stuff to it like, peanut butter or, chocolate chips. Okay. Um, Now one last thing I wanted to address here is we're taught again that we use these dairy products for calcium and protein, okay, and that we must have these two items. Now, if you back up 50 plus years, who was on the board of the FDA, I wonder, could it be the beef and dairy guys? Oh, yes, it was. So, do you notice how all of that stuff has been heavily promoted to us throughout the years, and none of that stuff is good for us? All right. So, keep that in the back of your mind. Um, so, if you're concerned about how you're getting your calcium or your protein, you're going to get it from plants. So hopefully you'll be eating more vegetables. And there are certain vegetables that have a great amount of protein in them. You'll get everything you need if you eat enough vegetables and, eat properly. Okay. So don't worry about that. And in fact, most people probably have too much calcium in their system, which is why they have trouble there. Whole different topic. All right. So I hope this was helpful. It is my opinion that everyone should be pretty much dairy-free and only eat real dairy on special occasions. Okay, don't do it every day. Do it when you must have it or whatever, or you're out at a public place. But if you can substitute and or get around it, it's much more preferred. Thanks so much.